Hi! Today's video is a very powerful message that I have for you. This is a life hack that I follow for my life and has benefited me I don't know in how many ways. I attribute at least 50% of whatever I have in my life right now to this one life hack. So there's this real story about my own husband, okay? His name is Sahil. So what happened with Sahil was that when he was 20 years old, or I don't know, he was in college. So he's a software engineer. Somebody asked him that would you be able to make website for the college fest that is coming up. So somebody asked him that, somebody who was organizing the event. And this guy, I'm talking about Sahil, he had no idea as to how to make a website. He never made a website, okay? And this was a very real challenge for him because you're doing it for the first time and you're doing it for your own college fest. A lot of people are involved, and by the way, Tapsi Pannu was his classmate. Yeah. No, they never dated. Alright, so getting back, the moment he was asked this question, he just instantly replied yes, okay? And then when he got back, he was filled with fear. He was like, अरे यार हाँ तो बोल दिया, आता नहीं है, कैसे करूँगा ये वो. You know, the reality hits you. It's like, अच्छा ठीक है, जिम्मेदारी ले ली है, but अभी काम तो आता नहीं है, क्या करें? So what he did was that he learned HTML. He started learning HTML. That is something that you need to develop a website. It's a language, okay? So he started learning HTML that very day. He started learning CSS. Forgive me if I'm taking the names wrong, but CSS, it's for the aesthetics of the website. So he started learning these two languages, coding languages, and he learned the languages and he actually made the website for his college fest. That was the first website he made and it totally transformed his life. He entered into the business of websites right after that. He made one website after the other and he kept on making websites and kept on. He actually got into the business of trading websites, buying and selling websites. And it all resulted from this one decision of saying a yes when somebody asked you, would you be able to make a website for college fest? And I was like, why not? And he said a yes, and here he is into full-fledged business of websites. I'm sure you've got the idea. The idea is when the opportunity presents itself to you, you apply your brain later. You say a yes now. That's what you do if you're intelligent, okay? That's what you do, because I'll give you the reasons later. Now coming to my own example. I don't know if you know this, but I make videos for Grow. So there's this stockbroker. It's one of the biggest stockbrokers of India, and I make YouTube videos for them, okay? So when these guys approached me in the beginning, I was nervous. I was scared because, you know, this was hardcore news reporting stuff and I am no journalist. I'm a CA. You learn about stock market when you are doing CA, but that is limited knowledge, of course. When you actually practically get into this world, you learn most, right? So I was like, oh God, these guys are big. Am I supposed to say yes? And you know what I did? I said a yes because that's who I am. I just said yes. Whenever an opportunity presents itself, I've never backed down. I have always been in the mindset, पहले हाँ बोल दो, बाद में figure out कर लेंगे. देखा जाएगा, you know, देखा जाएगा. So I said yes. And I started making videos for them. Of course, it was difficult. I figured out so many different things because of that. You will not believe. I even got calls from big shots like Economic Times and stuff. Like I've spoken with Nikunj Dalmia. He liked my style of reporting on the videos, and so he actually spoke with me. I don't know if you know Nikunj Dalmia. He's a big shot of news industry, of journalism industry. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm just telling you how things go from here to here. You learn on the way. You say yes and you're filled with this extreme anxiety and extreme pressure to perform, and then there is no other way for you to handle the situation than to learn how to handle it, right? And that's how it happened. I said yes to making Grow's videos. Then there were several other things. Like when I was a child, I remember I was in class 4th at that time. Imagine how small I would be. Yeah. So class 4th, there was this question somebody was asking, and the question was that, would you be able to represent the school in a skipping competition? I said yes. And trust me, after giving my name for the representation of school in the skipping competition, that's when that day I bought my skipping rope for the first time. I did not know how to skip. I gave my name because it was an opportunity. Somebody was ready to take down my name. I just said yes, chalo seekh lenge, dekha jayega. One more example. I used to teach at Merit Nation. I don't know if you've heard of the name of this brand. Merit Nation is now owned by Akash. Okay, so Merit Nation was a teaching organization where they would take online classes. And when I was given this opportunity to teach class 12th, I was teaching class 11th and 12th accountancy at that platform. And when the opportunity presented itself, I just instantly said yes. And I went back to my books and started reading stuff that I had learned in 11th and 12th. That's how I taught 11th and 12th at that time. I don't know, you may be like, ma'am, matlab, kya ye sahi hai, kya ye galat hai? When you're desperate, sab kuch aapko usi hisab se kaam karna hota hai. I was in desperate need of work, and if something is coming up to me, I will not say no. I had quit my regular job of a CA because I wanted to do something of my own, and now I needed money. There was no money coming in from anywhere, and there was this opportunity that could have given me 12,000-15,000 rupees sitting at home and teaching. And I said yes, that's the right thing to do. And of course I was a brilliant teacher. I mean, students used to like me because I did my work before I sat down to teach. Now, not boasting, just telling you facts and figures, okay? I've always been very honest about talking about my own flaws and my own weaknesses. I've never shied down from doing that either. So neither I'm gonna shy down from talking about my positives. This is a positive, I'm gonna talk about it. Coming to why I proposed this idea, why I'm in favor of you thinking of functioning in this way. It's because it's simple. You've heard of this quotation, yeah? Desperate times need desperate measures. And here I am creating, manifesting, manufacturing desperate times. I'm actually putting myself in a desperate situation. And since now I am in a desperate situation, the way Sahil was when he had to make a website and the deadline was close, he actually learned, and he learned it in shorter span of time. And that's what actually happens. When you are in a desperate situation, you have to adopt desperate measures. You have to cut down on all the distractions of your life and focus on one thing. And it actually pays off. Most of the times it does. Just believe me on this. I'm a living example of this. Most of the things that I've accomplished in my life are just a plain yes, and then figuring out how to do it. Another reason why you should always say a yes and then figure things out later, it's because when you say a yes to something, most of the times the time is really less in your hand and you have shorter span of time to perform, and you learn faster because when you have more time on hand, more time, okay, you're always procrastinating. Like, I'll give you an example of my own. If I have to make a YouTube video and there is no desperation, no deadline pressure, nothing, I'll be like, nahi yaar, abhi meri planning complete nahi hui hai. I still need to plan more before I make this video. Let me take a piece of advice from somebody X and Y. Let me think more about the script. And a lot of time goes into planning. I'm planning and finally not executing. And it is the execution that gets you results. Planning will not get you results. Don't get me wrong, I'm not downplaying planning. I'm not saying planning is not important. Planning is only important when execution is happening. If execution is not happening, planning is useless. If you're planning, you make sure you execute. And when you're in desperate times, you have shorter period of time to perform. You have less time on hand. अब करके देना है. अब ज़्यादा time है ही नहीं. Then जो distance होता है ना, this distance between planning and execution, it comes close. The distance shortens. There is no time between planning and execution. You have to plan and instantly execute. And that's when things actually start to happen for you. The wheel of time is turning for you and things are changing for you. Get my point? So less procrastination happens. Distractions they are mellowed down. You're not distracted, at least when you're working on a target that is close by. You're not distracted. You are focused. Focus ka to bahut trouble hai aajkal. Focus is such a fight. I spoke about it in one of my previous videos too, just recently. Everybody is fighting for your focus. Everybody is fighting for your attention. All these big shots, the Facebooks of the world and the Twitters of the world, everybody wants your attention. All the celebrities want your attention. They're trying different hatkandas to grab your attention. They would just do anything to make you comment and make you like their post. There's a lot of attention hunger these days, and you are the target. You don't even realize. You are a victim of your phone. So it's better to live a few days of your life when you're not distracted. You're chilling because you have a target. You're working towards something. And when you're working towards something, you're less distracted. You don't procrastinate because time hai hi nahi procrastinate karne ka. And there's one great thing that can actually come out of this. And that is when you say yes to something like this, it opens doors to several more new things. It always works like this. Like you say yes to something because of which you learn something new. And now because you've learned this, okay, there are more people who know you for this. Some new opportunity will come out of this. And then you are exposed more. More people know you. More more contacts you have. More people appreciate you for a certain skill. Like I told you about my videos that I make for stock market. Like people figured me out on economic times. And of course, I did not want to go there. That's a video for some other time. But yeah, that's how things happen for you, right? You find out more about life. You find out more contacts. You find out more skills that you have. You gain new confidence. You are known for something new which people had not known you for earlier. Yeah, I think that's all about it. I'll give you one more instance in my life. I've done this a lot, by the way. Lot. And this is just one more example that I'm telling you. Somebody once asked me, Alina, would you be able to teach math to class 12th? And trust me, class 12th ki math. It's horrible. It's difficult. And I am from ICSC board. I did my 12th from ISC. I scored 100 out of 100 in my board exams of mathematics in class 12th. So yeah, I was really good at it. And that was the only thing that came to my mind when somebody asked me, would you be able to teach math to class 12? I said, yes, I'll be able to. And trust me, I had forgotten most of the stuff. And I still said yes. And then later I went back, opened the books. I started reading and learning again. And I taught. I taught to graduation. I taught CA final. I taught so many more classes because of these little things that were adding up. Little pieces of confidence that were adding up and building this beautiful castle of my personality where I was strong and confident that I could take up any challenge in the world. Bas, aaj ke liye itna hi. Okay, do not fall on this video for motivation. This is not motivation. This is just a life reality that I'm sharing with you. Something that I abide by. I have learned from my experience and I'm sharing with you. Learn it. This is not for your motivation. This is for you to realize that you have more in you than you actually realize. You are built up of so much more. If you're somewhere dwindling, you are confused in things, just know that you have so much more in you. 3-4 चीजें try करो, एक काम कर जाए, जो काम कर जाए उसमें आगे बढ़ जाओ. That's it. I'll see you again soon. Bye.